all 32 NFL teams converge on Mobile each year for what's essentially the first major step toward the NFL draft. CST spent much of last week in Mobile to bring you unprecedented coverage of regional players as they head toward the draft. Much of that lies ahead, but being around the South team at the Senior Bowl was easy to see how several players from LSU and Alabama became teammates and are now headed on the same path toward becoming a pro, but each of them arrived from very different places. There may have been all sorts of controversy surrounding Alabama getting its second chance at LSU in the BCS championship game, but the Crimson Tide left absolutely no doubt after its thoroughly dominating 21-0 beatdown of the Tigers. The season may be over, but the after effects are not.
It was a little bit of revenge time, and to play them when we had a lot of doubters. And really, quite frankly, I didn't know why, because I felt like we outplayed them the first time.
You know, it kind of got to the point where, like, man, they either intimidated or they not ready to play right now. And, you know, with us, we feed off that, you know what I'm saying? So we started thinking shutout from the start.
LSU's offense was so bad, it only crossed the 50 once, and that wasn't until mid-fourth quarter. Everyone watching saw the ineffectiveness. What they didn't see was the frustration in the huddle.
It was like, why we ain't trying the game plan that we practiced for over the weeks. I think we would have, stayed with the game plan. I think, we would have came out there, put up points, and moved the ball.
Do you have any answer today on why?
No, I'm still wondering why. Me and Brandon, we roommates here. Will Blackwell, he's here now. You can ask any one of us. It still haunts us to this day. Like, we thinking, like, what happened?
What happened?
It's not the first time I've gotten that question this week, and it's a little tough having to answer it because, you don't always know the right answer, but, we got beat.
Alabama, they just came out and dominated on all three phases of the ball when we didn't, and it just came out as a victory.
With the season you guys had, how hard is it to now sit with the final game?
It's very hard. It's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with.
LSU's remarkable 13-0 start was washed away by Alabama, which not only made the most of its second chance, but did so in New Orleans, where the Tigers had not lost in a quarter century.
Oh, it meant a lot because they came in our home and beat us. So it was just like a home game for them, and we returned the favor.
How hard is it to let it go?
It's tough, eventually, you never forget about it, but you try to put it as far back in the back of your mind as you possibly can.
It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, but just got to look forward and move on from that.
We didn't win the national championship, but we won the SEC.
I take all that, that experience and, take it with me. But at the back of my head, national championship game still bother me.
That feeling may linger quite a while. Well, one thing everyone agrees on is that both LSU and Alabama should be very, very good again next year. But back to this year and the march toward the NFL draft, the Senior Bowl a year ago had 12 players selected in the first round. 83 participants in all were drafted. And each year, several small school players get their shot at the big time by playing with the big boys. And Paul Boron has more on a pair of teammates who are here coming off a big year at ULL.
For 4 seasons, Ragin' Cajun seniors like Dwight Bentley and Ladarius Green came to camp with the dream of delivering the school's first bowl appearance since moving to Division I. And not only did they fulfill that dream, but they did so this season with a dramatic victory.
It was great, sharing that game with all the seniors out there. We practiced for 4 years trying to get it there, and we finally made it. We won the game.
It was an honor finishing New Orleans Bowl, going out as a band with my seniors, man. We just worked so hard, and we made that. When the coaches came in the spring, we just set our mind on what we wanted at the end of the season. We wanted to come out on top, and that's what we did in New Orleans Bowl. We came out on top.
Now, after finishing their ULL careers off in style, the two were teammates once again in Mobile, with one last chance to wear those Ragin' Cajun helmets.
It's a great motivator, seeing him on the other side of the ball, just like practice. We get to motivate each other, push each other. We get down, I talk to him, I get down, he talk to me.
But the two weren't just representing their school, they also were representing the Sun Belt, proving that players from the non-BCS conferences can compete with the big boys.
Just coming out here with that chip on your shoulder because we're from a small school, everybody think we can't compete, but it's just coming out here showing them that we can compete at small schools just as well as big schools.
We went to Louisiana Lafayette, small school, so but both great players. We come to show that great players come from small schools too.
Now, these two have gone against each other in practice for years in Lafayette, so who better to analyze the draft prospects of Green and Bentley than Green and Bentley?
His competitor, being smart, working hard, and just being himself, man, coming out and playing fast and just being good and just knowing his plays and just working on everything that he was lacking on it and becoming a great player to become a pro.
Billen's a great competitor. He wants to win everything. He comes hard to practice every day, and speed and athleticism, he has it just like everybody else does.
These two could find themselves linked together again on draft day. Green is projected as a top 5 tight end and a 3rd-round pick. And after a great week at the Senior Bowl, Bentley has seen his stock rise to also a potential 3rd-round selection. In Mobile, Paul Boron for CST Tonight.